Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of F1 Manager 2024 Mercedes Rebuild. So, I had taken a long break. The last episode was recorded back in April 19th or 29th. Now it is the 17th of June. But we continue moving on. I will try to keep it nice and short from now on. I think the long episodes really were tiring me. So we will try to do a race per episode, maybe two today. We'll see. I want to end this season as quickly as we can. Now, also, I had updated some of the contracts that were signed while I was away. For example, Alex Albon got a contract extension. Checo Perez got a contract extension. We'll see what will happen with Esteban. It is said that he will leave Alpine after this season. What will happen in our simulation, we'll see. Also, if you guys want to play basically the same thing I am playing right now, I did release a tutorial video. Go and check it out. You can download the save I made specifically for you guys to play. It's even better than mine. I think the ratings are a bit better. It's actually set in the year 2024, not 2023. This was a poorly edited version at first when I just had the basic resources that I had back then. Now I can go much deeper and edit more things, and so I did. Okay, let's hop into Las Vegas as quick as we can, and let's get this season over with.
What a joke.
It's lights out and away we go.
Lights out, the way we go. So, today we are going to try out this new mod that I found. It basically gives you more details on the race itself. Now, I kind of don't like it because it does cluster it up a bit, but we will give it a go. So, we have two different strategies for both of our drivers. We'll see who performs better. Now, the thought process was that Lewis, having the 100% setup, plus the softs, plus, you know, him being Lewis, he'd dominate off the bat, but George passed him in the first corner. It is what it is. We will keep on racing. Both of our drivers basically have an optimal, perfect setup. Now we just have to get the results. Let's see, so, interval, we are already slowly pulling away from Oscar Piastri and the McLarens. I think this race we will hopefully battle with the Ferraris. We've shown that we definitely can battle with the Red Bulls and Ferraris. Now, Carlos Sainz in 18th. Interesting. Oh, he had 2 penalties, my fault. And also Lance Stroll crashed out in practice 2, causing a red flag. So we'll some drama out there. Should Lance Stroll be driving for Aston Martin next season? We will see. Now let's just hope for a good result. Not much to do this season. We just have to finish these races and I guess get some good vibes out of these couple of last races and have some fun. So Lewis is battling with Checo. We'll tell him to attack, so we'll tell actually both of our drivers to attack. I think we've held out for long enough. Leclerc is getting away, so
You can do this.
I will give some extra ERS to Lewis.
Just stay close to him.
Hopefully he can overtake Checo and stay
Use the
there.
overtake.
He got the DRS. He should be good now. George also coming in. We will watch the battle from Lewis's car. Should we drop down to neutral? I am not sure. I'll leave it as is for right now. And we'll let Lewis pull away and try to catch up to Charles Leclerc. Leclerc just passed Max actually ahead of us, where they are battling. So we will now get on board with George. Hopefully we can view the battle from here. I will go back to neutral with Lewis. Go and deploy with George. Hopefully that will be enough for him to pass Checo, and then we can do our best. Actually, I completely forgot. Boom and boom. And now we will put neutral on defend. Actually, Lewis is putting up the fastest lap currently. He might have a chance. Let's give him an extra bit of fuel. Let's see. So George does pass
Drop the lift and coast for now
Checo.
and make it up later.
Now Lewis is trying to stick his nose in. Will he be able to pass Leclerc? Yes, he will. Okay. Wait. No. Never mind. He doesn't. Okay. But we do have a fighting chance. Now we do not have ERS. We should charge it up a bit. We will try to use the DRS that we have to charge up the battery. I have also ran out with George. That is my mistake. I just was looking at the battle itself, wasn't paying attention. My fault. Sorry, boys. By the looks of it, George has left Checo in the dust. Actually, he is pulling in. Now, luckily, George also has DRS. Let's see. Have I told him to drive in clean air? No. Okay. So, the good thing is we have left Lando in the dust. So the top 5 is separated up here. Let's just see. We do have to save Lewis's tire a bit if we want to stay competitive. Now the only problem is we really should get in front of these two and conserve our tire and then hop on the hards. They will also hop on the hards, but they will be quicker in the long run. We will be quicker right now, but then we will drop down. Don't really know what to do. By the looks of it, Lewis might finish the race 5th or 6th right now. Hopefully we can improve those results. George is looking much more hopeful. Now the only problem is Checo behind. Lewis might be holding back George. Just don't fight teammates still on. No, it is not. So, should be good to go. But we have our cars do have the worst tires on the grid percentage-wise. So, we'll just leave it as is and let the drivers do their thing. Now, if we could escape Checo and stop giving him DRS, that'd be great if we could create a gap from him. He's basically on the same strategy as we are. By the looks of it, we will be doing so. Now, we will ruin our tire in doing so, but hopefully in the long run it will only benefit us. I will have to drop down to standard with Lewis now to conserve as much as we can. Otherwise, we will have to pit much more earlier than we actually would need to. Let's see, we are still running our battery out, which is not a good thing. I do want to have a bit of a reserve. That's why we can't probably pass Max right now. That little bit of battery is what we need right now. Let's see, Checo is still on our ass. We haven't made that 1 second gap and eliminated him from the DRS range. Now driving in dirty air, I think I'll have to drop down to standard to conserve some of our tire. Charles battling Max is at 69%. George just following Lewis is at 67%. Even with the other soft runners with Piastri and Bottas, Lewis is at 57%, as you can see. So I think we will just hold out and we'll see what happens.
Now we're with Lewis Hamilton here. There's the opening. And Lewis says, thank you very much.
And so while using DRS, Lewis finally passed Leclerc. Leclerc put in the fastest lap, but Lewis has the chance to battle with Max, finally. Now, our tires are completely ruined at this point. Not many options for us to do, or not really much for us to do. I think we will have to consider pitting much more earlier than expected and then conserving on the hards. But if we could get in front of Max, that'd be great. Then again, might be useful for him to just drag us along, because if we can't create that 1 second gap, then there's no real point of being in front right now for us. Let's see. George, I think, needs a little bit of power, so I will let him deploy. He really needs to be in some clean air as well. That's really what we are missing right now. Let's see, where can Lewis go for the overtake on Max? Where's the next DRS straight? This one. So we will deploy out of this corner. We will hope for the best. Now 45% softs. I don't think we'll be able to pass Max, but George is now going for the overtake on Charles. we will go back to neutral to save some ERS. Same with, actually, George could go for it out of the next corner. Let's see what George can do. Through the outside, now he has the inside. Can he deploy? No, not enough for us. And we have ran out of batteries, so we will just have to top up. By the looks of it, Charles and Max are just a bit too quick for us.
Charge the pack.
We will use
Copy.
DRS to charge the pack. Oh, and here is Checo. Now, well, we couldn't pass Leclerc, and Checo uses the opportunity to stick his nose in and now overtake George. So, I think Checo was saving up back there, and now he has conserved his tire, maybe some battery and a fuel, and he will just push to get back his second position on the grid. We will go back to neutral. Can't really charge for that long if we want to keep these positions. Lewis just has to, I guess, keep the second position for as long as he can, but soon enough we'll have to pit. At this point we are reaching a dangerous situation with our tires. By the looks of it, we'll have to put a pit at lap 16. Charles finally passes Lewis.
Yeah, don't
I
sweat.
think the downfall is coming. Checo will have to be let through soon enough. We could just put on rarely defend, conserve the tire, and as much as we can,
So
and
you just
then
stay online.
drag and then just drive behind Checo and use the DRS. We do have a 7-second gap to the top, or Lando in 6th, so technically we can just do that. George is in a much more hopeful position. He is following the strategy quite nicely. I had to push much more with Lewis to gain these positions, and also he started basically at 5th after George passed him in the first corner. But actually, Lewis is still challenging Checo, so no, the Red Bulls will be a bit too powerful. Okay, we will hold back a bit now. Hopefully conserve the tire.
Just keep it up.
Just try to finish 4th and 5th. And so George will pass Lewis now. I will tell him to not attack.
Need to look after the car.
Yeah, look after the car. And Lewis dropped off heavily. Now there's a 3-second gap to the cars ahead. I think at this point we are not going to be able to catch them. Lewis dropped off a bit too much, and I was on time 16, just skipping ahead. And so Lewis enters the pits. George dragged him along nicely. I harvested some ERS with Lewis as well, but we have a nice 2.6 pit. That's a great pit. So let's see. Do we get out in front of Carlos Sainz? No. Albon also passes us. We will be, looks like, in traffic and dirty air. That's not good. At least we get in front of Tsunoda. No. Oh. Why is Lewis going so slow? Somebody just phased into him. Okay. There we are. So, standard, it is neutral, and now we just cruise along. George is in his pit window. We will hold out for a bit longer. We will try to... Should we undercut Leclerc? So, Charles Leclerc just pitted.
Okay,
we will push now.
Yeah.
I think this is our time to pit as well, this lap. That's what we'll do. We could stay out for one more lap. He might be held up in traffic. No, by the looks of it, he won't. You know what? Should we stay up for one more track or lap? And then hope for the better tire to 34%. You know, I've been risking it a lot lately. It's all for the purpose of experimenting and getting some experience for next season. I have still some time to think. You know, 11-second gap. Well, he will pass us anyways whenever we pit. But I think that little bit of extra time on this medium might give us a nice push. So you know what? We will pit next lap. And so George enters the pits. Unfortunately, I can't see the sectors. By the looks of it, he did actually make up some time from Charles Leclerc. So, we enter the pits at the optimal time. Let's see. Tsunoda enters the pits as well. 2.5, great pit. Leclerc is right outside of the paddock. And he
Yeah,
will
just keep
pass
an eye on
us.
your
Does
mirrors
Lewis pass us?
cars coming.
Lewis also... Actually, he will not pass George. See, hopefully they don't collide. Okay, George lets Lewis through. So be it. We will now drop down to standard and balanced. And so, Lewis actually... Checo Perez had a pit stop issue, so both of our drivers come out in front of Checo. Let's see, is he still in the pits? Where is he? He's down in 8th with the hards in lap 25. So, actually, we might have a chance to get on the podium today. Actually, we tune into George, and he is getting passed by one Oscar Piastri. And he has charged back. Lando is also close by, so the advantage that we had with the new tires might soon be ruined by the other competition sticking their nose in. Let's see. Checo is actually held back behind Carlos Sainz. So, let's see. We have a 4-second gap to Checo. So, hopefully we don't see Checo in this race. Hopefully Carlos, Alonso, and Lando can hold them back. But we will have to battle one Oscar Piastri here.
Push now.
And let's see, George will make a move now. This is a DRS straight, should be easy enough for him. Now we will only need a quick exit out of the next corner, and we can hopefully get away from Oscar Piastri. Now, Lewis is too far away. We will not catch him at this time to get some DRS, but let's see, can we increase the gap? There is no DRS here, so we can hope that we have a better car and we can get away from Oscar. But he is holding in. He's right there on our tail. But actually our cars do seem pretty similar. Oscar isn't able to pass George without the help of the DRS. So we will battle both of these McLarens behind us. Lando Norris is actually also now charging back up. But actually, Oscar might be dragged away from Lando by George, but will be tough. We will do our best to just maintain the 3rd and 4th position today. This is starting to become spicy. Carlos Sainz now has passed Oscar Piastri in lap 32. There is a 4-5 car battle happening on behind us. Carlos Sainz just passed Oscar, and Checo passes Oscar. So now we will have the Ferrari and Red Bull behind George. The advantage that we've had has dissipated now, and we will have to battle these 3. Now, Oscar had ruined his tires while staying behind George, but the 2 behind us do have better equipment than we do, and looks like George, or Checo, does pass George. I really had spent all of our fuel and tire while just trying to get away from Oscar, tried to dissipate that DRS interval, but now he is passed by Checo. He will be trying to catch up back to Lewis. Now, with Lewis, I haven't been pushing, I've just been letting him race along, and he soon might have to worry about Checo entering his rear view mirrors. Now, Carlos is behind us. Luckily now we have DRS due to Checo being in front of us, and also we do create a nice gap to the McLarens. So, looks like we will separate us from the McLarens, but we will have to battle for the 5th and 4th position. Lewis just now was passed by Checo. It was inevitable. We can't stop the Ferraris this season. Looks like George will also go for the overtake on Lewis. We will actually... You know what? Should we defend it? Now, I don't want the teammates to fight between each other, but it should be for the better to just let them race again. Basically, the standings are set. The only thing is, George is behind Lando Norris, so I actually want George to perform a bit better so he can pass Lando. Now, really not much to do. Just use the DRS, 15 laps to go. If we can hold these positions, that'd be great. So, 10 laps to go. Carlos Sainz now passes Lewis Hamilton, gets the DRS. Checo also now attempting to overtake Lewis. have told Lewis to just always defend and be aggressive as he can. For George, I've told him to be aggressive as he can. You know what, I'll let him defend as well, although there's nothing to defend right now. So, Carlos doesn't want that top 3 finish. Again, he's shorter than 18th. That would be monumental for him to finish in 3rd. He has already shot away from us. I believe he was conserving while behind the 4 of us. The only thing we now need to do with both of the Mercedes is to bully this Red Bull out of the 5th position. We'll tell Lewis to just always defend, and for George to be as aggressive as he wants to be now. The only problem is we might need to conserve some fuel at some point. Yeah, we might need to use some lift and coast. We'll see if that is needed. And so we have started the last lap. There will be no catching up to Carlos Sainz, and Alonso won't catch us. So what we've done is just let both of our drivers have some fun and race for possibly one last time together in F1. We'll see if George ever teams up with Lewis once again, but definitely in Mercedes, this is one of the 3 last races, and hopefully we'll have a better finish next time. But it is nice seeing these 2 together. Both of the Brits having come up through the ranks or in a race with Mercedes now, and let's see. By the looks of it, Lewis will take it. He is just a bit too good. Now, George does need the points, though, so will Lewis let George through? That's the interesting part. George will use the DRS to his advantage. Will he be able to pass Lewis in this last DRS straight before the straight and a race to the finish line? Let's see. No. He will not. Max wins the race, meanwhile, with a 16-second gap. Let's see. Is George going for the overtake? I've put their aggression to... Actually, no, I probably should have, but... There goes Lewis and George, 5th and 6th.
We have checkered flag now. So it's P5, Lewis. Okay, well done, Lewis.
Well, I gave it everything, man. Great work, guys.
Yeah, you've taken the checkered flag. That'll be P6. Nice job.
I did my best, mate. Great work over the past couple of weeks.
And so, this is the final standings of the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Max outs the points that he could get out of here, and with 26, Charles Leclerc in 2nd. Sergio, unfortunately, did finish 3rd, and Carlos gained 15 positions and finished 4th. Now, let's see, the rest of the grid. Yuki finished 11th. Lance got 1 point at the end. So, Drivers' Championship. George still doesn't pass Lando, 2 points short. So, by the looks of it, there is no reaching Lewis for Lando, except if he wins both of the races, but that is really unlikely. But George will have to battle Alonso and Norris for the 6th position. We will do our best to provide George with the best possibilities to indeed pass Lando in the Drivers' Championship. The Constructors' Championship, still we are basically confirmed 3rd in the Constructors' Championship. We've reached our goal. Now, hopefully next season we can at least be 3rd, if not higher. McLaren are starting to become a threat. Aston Martin, though, have heavily fallen off. DHL pit stop. McLaren actually put in a 2.4, but we put in a 2.5 and a 2.6 respectively, getting some valuable points in front of Alpine. We are catching up to them, but with 2 races left, I don't think we will pass them, unfortunately. But we are in front of the Racing Bulls, and by the looks of it, we will stay in 5th. That's some extra cash that will be needed for us. Hopefully next season we can be up here.